Good morning, guys. Happy Saturday to you. I'm going to go over some stuff with this Many Messages stamp set. It's a bundle. It's the stamp set as well as a die. Really, I think it's 22 different greetings, if I remember right. I don't know. I'm not going to count it right now because, of course, it only says it's one stamp. But I want to show you a few little tricks. First thing is I always mount my stamps and my dies together if I can. Also, I will make a template of the cutout, and I'll show you why in a bit. But the basics of this stamp, and I like using it with the Stamparatus, just because you have a lot of area here. You don't have to. I just like doing it because I'm not good at making sure I stamp all the time. So it is a clear mount. So, oops, I have little extras there that cut out. All right, so it's a clear mount. So when you're using it with your Stamparatus, you do not need the foam sheet, okay? All you need is this base. Now I have a few vent covers, magnetic vent covers that I like putting in there just because I like it just a little extra depth, especially for if you're stamping close in the corners. It seems to help. Okay, and I'm going to take a clean piece of the paper here because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to mount this, and just to give an idea, so I don't want it too close to the edge, so I'm going to mount this a little bit over this way. All right, put this down, and I've taken an 8.5 by 11 and I've cut it down to 6.5 by 11 just because this will fit through the Stamp and Emboss cut machine. But I also want to use this for something later to show you about stamping. So when you are using the full stamp, I would recommend using a full-size stamp pad. I'm going to use a spot layer to show you something, so let me grab the Blackberry Bliss in the big one. So just a moment. Okay. So when you're stamping, I like having this underneath my platform. That way it gives it a little more support when you're inking up. Okay, so you want to make sure you don't really want to press really hard because then you might get edges. Not a big deal because these cut out pretty close. See, I'm already getting an edge right there. It might have been the way I cut it, though, when I trimmed the stamp. So it looks like I pretty much got everything okay. Let me go ahead and go over, make sure the paper's up in the corner. Right, I'm going to put it like this because I have a rough edge there. So make sure that's in the corner. Go like that. And I'm going to press it down. Now you do kind of want to make sure that it's not going to move around. I always, though, from years of practice, have always kept one hand stationary when using a big stamp. So it looks pretty good. The only thing that didn't come out really good is that heart. I'm not going to restamp it just because of, you know, the happy birthdays, it looks a little. I am going to do, and this time I'm just going to twist it a little to kind of help work it in. So now let's make sure I have that heart really good. Okay, so here we go again. I haven't moved the paper, the magnet's holding it down. I'm going to go over that happy birthday and that heart, which I didn't think stamped too well. Okay, still not the greatest, but I don't know if I'm ever really going to use these little accents to cut out. So what I'm going to do before I go to cut this out, I'm going to then do this, and I'll show you why in a second. So it's not going to be a full strength stamping, but it is going to show where this is. So it gives you kind of an idea. All right. So let me put the Stamparatus off to the side for a second. Close up my ink pad. And bring in, now the camera will probably move. Oops, let me put that back on there. The camera will probably move a lot because I'm going to bring out my big Stampin', the Mommy, I call it the Mommy Stampin' Emboss machine. And I'm going to lay this down. As you can see, it's going to fit really tight. So I think I'm going to trim off just a touch. Let me go ahead and just trim off a little tiny touch. Because you don't want to get too close to the words, or some of your cutouts will have an edge where it's not supposed to. Okay, this is going to fit in a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here. When I'm not on a video, I still use my magnetic plate, but the magnetic plate is currently not offered by Stampin' Up. There were some bending issues. I never had a problem with it, but the majority of the people were. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down, make sure it looks like, and what is really, and I'm going to stand up here to make sure my head's not getting in. The best way to line this up, I look for these little ones. See how the heart's done, but now the star is not lined up there. So now the heart's lined up, the star is lined up, this star looks lined up, that star does not. So let's move it just a little bit more here. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, and then I moved it. This is why I like the magnetic plate. Even though it's still not, it's still in the works, once you have it down, it's down. All right, so I'm thinking that looks pretty good. Put your plate on top, bring it straight down so you don't move that. And then you're going to run this through. Sorry for the camera moving. And it's going to creak. And we all know why. It's because you have many different sizes, many different areas of the cutting surface there. It is not going to crack or break your machine. It's not going to crack or break your dies. Don't worry. So then we lift up. Look at those. Look how beautiful those are. And see, here's the little tiny ones too. All right, so now you have all of these. I have so many storage type things. This is something I bought a long time ago, I think when I was doing beading. But I went ahead and I have this. Let me turn it this way because the lid's getting in the way. I have this where I have a section for each of these. As you can see, this was a big section, and these long and skinnies were just, oh, it looks like some of them fell. The long and skinnies were, I didn't like putting two in as one, so then I just made this little paper, I guess you could call it a paper tray, a paper divider, just to try to keep those. So then all of these would go in there. So like here's Your Kindness goes there. Oh, Happy Day is over here. All right. Not going to show you that though, but that's where I keep them. You know, some people are using envelopes. I'm just using that. Okay. So now what I want to make sure. Sorry, my camera, my plug kind of came out. All right, so let me take those away and let me show you when you already have cut out ones that are blank. Sometimes you might just want to cut it out for the shapes because they are great shapes that can coordinate with other stamps. But then you want to line it up. So this is where the Stamparatus comes back into play. So let's say I only want to do these few, okay? And unfortunately, it's going to, you know what, let me cut this one down really quick, just so you can see, because it's the same color as the other, so it may not be a good image. Oops, lost one. Hang on. All right, so let me just trim this down a little bit. You want to leave a little bit of an edge, but not so much because you still want it to fit into the machine. So here's another template. Okay. So let's say I just want to do these. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to line it up again. You see how I'm lining it up to make sure? I'm not so worried. I'm using these cutouts as my guide, but I'm more worried to make sure that the words are within the frames themselves. So like, see that happy anniversary? I'm going to move it up a little bit. So the words all look pretty good. And I'm going to put that magnet down so it doesn't move. Now, if you want to put a second one down here, you can. I find that only one is really needed. So then I'm going to go in here. This goes here. So I'm going to do that one. I'm going to do the thank you. You have to make sure they fit in there good. I'm going to do the just to say hello. And I'm going to do this celebrate. So I'm only going to do 4. I'm not going to do the whole thing. This is where you bring in your little spot. So I want to get the thank you. I want to get the celebrate you. I want to get this nice long one, which I think is, yep, it's the middle one here. And I want to get this hello. Now again, not worrying if they're perfectly inked, because after I stamp it, it's going to stay in place and I can put it back in there. And there you can see how those stamped really nicely. So if you have a bunch of the paper scraps around, this is a good way to make sure, if you don't want to cut out a whole bunch at a time, it's a good way to just stamp a few at a time. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great Saturday, a very good weekend. We're going to get snow here in the Chicagoland area, so everyone be safe if you're out there driving. Thanks. Bye-bye.